It was just supposed to be a routine checkup. A quick test for my son, Alex, to rule out a genetic risk. Nothing I ever thought would change my life. But as the doctor handed me the envelope, I felt a chill settle in. "John," he said, his voice somber, "Alex isn't biologically your son." I felt like the ground just fell out from under me. I mean, this was my son. I've known him since the day he was born. How could this even be possible? And as I drove home, only one thought echoed in my mind: what else has she been hiding? I found Emma in the kitchen, slicing tomatoes, completely unaware. I watched her, heart pounding, then finally said, "We need to talk about Alex." I told her about the test results, and after a long silence, she whispered, "It was a mistake. Years ago." I felt like my entire life had been a lie, like I was suddenly a stranger in my own home. Rage bubbled up inside me, and before I could stop myself, I lost control and struck her. The room fell silent, her face a mix of shock and fear. I stepped back, horrified at what I'd done. Then, with a trembling voice, she said, "You don't understand. You were never supposed to find out." She backed away, glancing towards the door as if planning her next move. "I did what I had to for us, for Alex," she whispered. She turned and ran, grabbing her keys and heading out the door. For days, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more. The name Mark kept popping into my head. He was this guy we used to know, a friend, or at least I thought he was. He was around a lot back then, always seemed to be just a little too comfortable in our home. I tracked him down, drove to his place without even really thinking it through. I confronted him, and he looked genuinely shocked when I told him about Alex. He told me he had no idea, said that Emma ended things with him out of nowhere and that he'd moved on. I called Emma and asked her to meet me at a quiet, out-of-the-way restaurant. She hesitated but agreed, her voice shaky. As I waited, I felt the weight of everything I had discovered pressing down on me, tightening in my chest. I needed answers, and I needed them face to face. When she finally arrived, she looked nervous. I wasted no time. I asked her about Mark, about the affair, about everything she'd hidden from me. At first, she tried to avoid my questions, but as I pressed, her facade cracked. She admitted to being with Mark for years, even after we got married. She confessed that when she found out she was pregnant, she had planned to leave me and start a life with him. But when Mark backed out, unwilling to take on the responsibility, she chose to stay with me and raise Alex as mine, hoping I'd never find out. Her words felt like knives, each one cutting deeper than the last. I sat there, staring at her, struggling to comprehend how the woman I thought I knew, the mother of my child, had constructed an entire life built on lies and deception. I pushed my chair back, feeling the urge to walk away from it all, but knowing that this wasn't over, not by a long shot. It had been a few months since I last saw her. I was running errands downtown, not thinking about much, when I spotted them. Emma and Mark, walking together down the street, laughing like they didn't have a care in the world. She looked different, lighter, almost like she was relieved. They were holding hands, wrapped up in each other. For a moment, I felt the urge to confront them, to remind them of the lives they'd torn apart. But then I took a deep breath. I realized I didn't need to go down that road. Whatever they had, they could keep it. That was their life now, not mine. I turned and walked away, finally feeling the weight start to lift. But in the middle of all that pain, there was one thing that gave me hope. Alex chose me. He looked past the lies, past the mistakes, and decided that I'm his dad, no matter what. And that's enough. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more real-life dramas.